Hi, Larissa Russell from Creative You, and today we're making affirmation cards. You may have caught my blog or my live on Facebook, which may also be here on YouTube, and it's about creating and using affirmation cards. So I wanted to show you how to create some really simple affirmation cards. So I'm going to just show you some watercolor ones and maybe a few other things, play with what I've got, but I mostly just have my watercolor supplies out. And yeah, just show you some fun ways that you can make your own. So I will flip to the other camera and I'll see you there. So like I said, today we're going to make some affirmation cards, and I just want to show you some of the materials I have. I've got my watercolors. You can't see them, but they're over to the side. So I'm going to use watercolors today. I do have this great gold watercolor as well. Tape, watercolor paper. Now you can use any watercolor paper. I have these ones already torn apart. This is actually art trading card size, but they work perfectly. So I had actually cut these up already because I used to do a lot of art trading cards, but they're a great size. But you can cut any size. This one here, so this is your basic 140. This is your basic 140 cold press. This one here is a little bit thicker. It's also a cold pressed, but it's a 200 pound instead of the 140. So it's a little thicker. It's almost like cardboard, which is really nice for doing cards. But literally you can use any paper. Today what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use these because I've already got them cut. So that makes it super simple. I'm just going to use water brushes with my watercolors. I did bring a little bit of salt just because it's fun with watercolors. So our base is going to be watercolors. You can use literally anything. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a few to show you. So let's do it like this so that they can fit in the camera. Okay. And I'm just going to tape them down because I like the white edges, but again, you do not need to do that. Wet on wet is what I really like to do. So I'm going to take a bigger brush right now. So just a little, and these are cheap brushes that I use for just sort of putting water on. I use them for so many things. So I'm just going to brush some water on. And now I'm just going to pick up some colors. I think I'd like some brighter colors. I'm just going to drop some of these on. So I'm going to do two similar and another two similar, like different colors, just to show some difference. And you can do them however you want to do them. Like I said, it doesn't have to be watercolor. It could be acrylics. It could be crayon, it could be pencil crayon. Just color some cardstock, watercolor paper, whatever you have. Just color it as a background. So, and I'm literally just adding some color to this. I'm just going to put a little more. I think I'll do two colors per. I'm going to do this other side purples and blues, I think, just to make it a little different and fun. But again, you do you. I am not about exact. If it has to be exact, it's not happening in my world. I'm just throwing some of that on, and then I'm going to grab some of the blue. And I would tell you the exact color names. I'll try and put them up. I'm horrible at that. Oh, actually, you know what? I might have them. Just a second. So Algerian, so these are Cotman watercolors. Algerian Crimson is the red. Cadmium Yellow is the yellow. I am using turquoise and dioxine violet. Wow, that's way harder to say than you would think. So I do have them. I forgot that I had made myself a little swatch to put in my small. So this one's starting to dry a little bit over here on the side. So I'm just going to add a little more water. Just squeeze out a little more water to get that moving a bit. So you could even wet them 2 at a time instead of all 4. And you can go back and add a little more if you want, if you're finding the colors a little lighter than you'd like. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. But I kind of like what's happening. I think I might add a little more of the blue to this guy. Or the turquoise, I guess. There we go. So just all right, so I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to use the okay, so now I see that my colors faded a little bit, so I'm going to add just a little more. I want them to be just a little brighter, so I'm just going to add a little bit more, and I'll just wet that with my brush just to give it a little more oomph. But again, however you want them to be is the right way. Purple's my favorite color, so I want it a little more oomphy. Just add some water from my brush on that to give it a little bit of spread. There we go. I think I like the red and yellow because I just wanted a little more purple in here. So do that. All right, dry that a little more. So now what I'm going to do, and you might have noticed I was dabbing at, because you don't need to keep drying stuff that you're not worried about. So I just took a tissue and I'm just going to take that off now. Still got a couple of little leaks, but that's all right. I'm not a perfectionist. If you are, you can be much more careful than I was. But yeah, this probably came from underneath because I got a little bit. So those are where we're at now. So those are really great backgrounds, right? And you can trim them. You can add decorative border to them. You could put some great washi tape. Oh, that's an amazing idea. I wonder where my washi tape is. Not handy, but I love that idea. Some washi tape around the edges here. I might do that afterwards. And then all you need is a black marker. Let me see. So many of my markers I have used up, and I'm struggling to find one that still works. And you want to make sure that it's waterproof. So yeah, so the Faber-Castell are great pens for that. I'm just looking at the sizes here, 0.3, 0.1, those are too small for what I want to do. 0.3, good grief. 0.5, there we go. Let's see how this one. And you can use gel pens, you can use like literally anything. You could use crayons. You don't have to write them fancy. I'm just going to use a waterproof marker and write affirmations. So this one here, this one might not be even, I am. So you want your affirmations to be personal, present tense, okay, so I'm just writing out my own affirmation here. So this one, I am creative. Well, I might need a different marker. And you want your affirmations to be personal, present tense, and positive. Those are the 3 P's of affirmations. So personal to you, so things that you want to work on. I think everybody's creative, so I think that reminder is super important. So I am creative. So that's how simple this can be. Right? Okay, so I found some fun washi tapes. Some of them more expensive, some of them the dollar store, some of them different stores. Like I collect washi tapes from different places, but I wanted something not too busy because we've got the watercolor. So I grabbed this one thinking it might work, but I'm thinking it might be too busy. So I kind of like the idea of just a single color. I'm going to just try it. This is actually not something I had done before, put washi tape on the edges, but when I thought of it, I was like, that's a great idea. So let's do that. So different washi tapes have different sort of stickiness. So the better ones usually stick a little better. So I'm just going to put that on there and flip it over the edge like that. Grab my scissors that I had super handy a second ago. Oh. Trim the edge. So what I could have done, I realize now I went right along the white and that wasn't so straight. So I'm going to take that off. This one's actually not very sticky either, so I'm going to grab a different one. This one's a little stickier. Sometimes you get what you pay for. So if you get them at the dollar store, they don't always stick that great. But this one's a little stickier, and I'm going to make it a little straighter. As you can see, I'm quite a messy worker. That should be a little straighter. There we go. So it doesn't matter where my white edge is. What matters is that I made a straight line. But again, completely up to you. I just kind of liked this idea. So I'm just going to do all 4 edges. Actually, putting the washi tape on the edges will make them a little more durable if you're using them every day. So there we go. I am creative. Now, you can also use, I'm going to try, actually, you know what? I'm going to try, I forgot to put any of the gold. So I'm going to try this one, the Sharpie Metallic, and see how well that goes. And let's do, I have my dream job, which is true for me. Oops, obviously. These paint pens sometimes, they get a little clogged and this is a fine. I probably would have used a little thicker. So and I don't worry about things like that. I think it just adds to the design. When it dries, it'll be a little fatter, and that's okay. I have my dream job. I'm just using up some of that paint that's there because we don't need all of it there. And if you don't like your handwriting, you can also cut things out. You can cut out from magazine. you can, you know, print it and then cut it out and glue them on. So there's one. I have my dream job. So there's another one. Now another thing you can do, I have these index cards. And again, I think I got them from the dollar store. Oh, yeah, totally tells me I got them from the dollar store. I love the dollar store for creative things. So these come in different colors. So I'm just going to put those up a little further. So there's yellow, there's a teal, there's a pink, and there's a blue. All right, so those are the 4 colors that came in the package. Now, this is actually a perfect size to cut in half, and you may want to measure this. I know many people would because I'm not perfect. You can use a paper slicer, but I'm just going to cut them. I think this is a great size for doing affirmations. So these are just basically cardstock in the perfect size. Let's see how badly I did. Oh, not too badly at all. Not too badly. So there's lines on one side and no lines on the other side. So it's completely up to you. It might be easier to write on the line side, but I like this side because you can decorate it. So I'm going to get out some chalk. This is my chalk pastels. And I'm going to just use my finger, I think, and add some chalk pastels to the background. So depending on what color you use, let's see what other colors are in here. Oh, this is a nice green. I'm going to just smudge this in a little. I do have nice applicators, but I just always find my fingers so much easier. I think because I have to clean the applicator and I can just wipe my finger off so easy. But if you like to stay a little tidier than I do, that's perfectly fine too. I'm all about the mess when it comes to creating. I'm going to use this color here too. It's really nice. Just add a little bit of this pastel blue in there. Just really color that edge. All right. I have many different colors, and I find them kind of fun for just smudging in edges. And then I think I'm going to use, I have this, this one here is a Aqua, oh, I can't even say that, but it's for paper, glass, plastic, and metal. And anything that says Aqua at the beginning of the name, Acrylable, anyways, will smudge in water. But I'm going to use this one and I'm just show you what's going to happen. So I'm going to write, I am strong. I have never liked my handwriting. I'm a little bit better at printing, but I've never liked my handwriting. So I'm going to do that. And now what I'm going to do, just to get it to set a little more, I'm going to take my water brush, a finer one than the one I was using earlier. And I am just going to go over that. Just make it a little more, just sort of brightens it right up. You could use a marker. You could use anything. I never did like these water brushes until more recently, and they have just become one of my favorites. I always had good brushes. I'm going to just see what it looks like if I add some water to this pastel and see if that does anything. Not really. Thought it might blend it a little more, but okay, I'm just gonna leave that. And again, you can do anything to decorate this. Maybe you want to add some, let's see if I can put some flowers on here. Oh, my white looks like it got into the black. So I might just, let's see how well it works. Might use something different then. I really like paint markers, but sometimes they're messy and sometimes they have very big tips on them. So I like the finer ones usually. Let's try this. There we go. So you don't have to do anything fancy, but I find when you make your own affirmation cards, it becomes more personal and it also sets it in a little more for you. So these are just a few samples. I'm going to take this. This again is the watercolor card, just for another example. I've got, I didn't really come prepared to do anything different than the watercolor today, but I'm going to use the crayons, the Neocolor. These are so much fun. And I'm just going to color a bit with these. And you could use just crayon. These ones are water soluble, which is super fun. But honestly, you could just color them with crayon. Let's do a little bit of yellow in there. All right, and then I'm going to take my water brush. Oh, that's the thin point. I'm going to do the thicker one, the wider tip. I'm going to start with my lighter color. Then I don't really have to do. So we'll start in here with the yellowy orange color. Start with that. And then into this magenta pink color. And I'm just moving it around and then onto the purple. I didn't rinse my brush or anything in between, just letting it all blend together. Because it's not really about, it's just the fun process, right, of making them, but it's more about the messages that you put on them and how they work for you. Well, there, I just did, that was super simple. I'm just going to dry that a bit. So now this too, like you can use anything. I'm just trying to see what else I have. Oh, I have another gold marker. I wonder how well this will work. Actually, I have I wonder if the purple will show up. Let's try this one. Oh yes, so these are metallic markers. These ones, it's like Edding metallic from Germany. Oh, store horizontally. See, these are the things you should read. Mine are standing up. I am. Me and spelling. I hope I spelled that right. And then I think I'm just going to add some edges. If you have an art journal practice that you do, you know all sorts of fun things that you can do for backgrounds. So you can literally do anything for the background. Okay, so that was fun. So there's so many things you can do with affirmation cards. You may have seen either the live or the blog, but I just want to let you know, you can post them in different places. You can also write them on your mirror. I love to use dry erase markers to write them on my mirror. But these fun ones that we just decorated, you can post them in different places, put them on your computer or in your bathroom, on your mirror in your bedroom, like on your fridge. Like, it doesn't matter. Just post them where you're going to see them. If you want to, you can put them inside of a journal or your notebook at work. You know, wherever you're going to see them. So some of the ones we made today, I'll start with the ones I started with. So these two, which you saw, oh, it's not very good camera here, but those are just watercolor. One's written with black, one's written with gold, one has washi tape, one doesn't. And so they're really that simple. Right? So then I cut up an index card and I just rubbed chalk on it and drew with some paint markers and water-soluble pencil. So it can, again, be that simple. This one I used the Aqua, the water crayons, right? And then just used a marker. So again, super simple. You can literally do anything. You can collage them, you can color them, you can put a drawing on them. It's more about the message and how personal it is for you. So positive, personal, present tense. That's how you want to create your affirmations. If you have any questions at all, please reach out. I would be happy to answer your questions. And yeah, thanks for joining me today. Have an amazingly creative day. Bye now. Thank you for listening in. Please remember to like, share, subscribe wherever you are watching or listening. You can find us at www.creativeyou.ca.